Okay, now that we have all of the products picked out, I just want to sit down and play. I want to chat with you guys a little bit. I haven't had the opportunity to do this in probably like a month or so. Life has been extremely crazy at home and just in my work life and everything else. So I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and just chat with you guys and just relax and play with makeup. Like, I really, really miss it. So I wanted to take the time to do that today. That's why I did the Shop My Stash. That's why we're going to play a little bit. Let's just go ahead and jump right on in. So I'm going to be starting off with the Smashbox Vitamin Glow Primer. I don't have a lot of experience with this one, but I know she's glowy. So the last video I filmed, I believe, was my best makeup of 2021 so far. Obviously 2021 is far from being over. So I had a lot of favorites. If you guys haven't checked that video out, please go check it out. There are so many amazing makeup products that I've discovered this year and that I've been loving on. So if you're looking for recommendations or you just want to hear what my favorites are so far, please go check that out. Lots and lots of amazing products. Before anybody wonders, yes, we have a visitor, okay? When I get extremely stressed out, cold sores pop up on my lip and on my chin. It's sexy, I know. And I debated not filming because of it, and then I thought, you know what? There's so many of us that deal with this kind of shit. So I'm just going to film anyway. I don't care. It is what it is. So, yeah. He's hanging out today, and we're gonna cover it up. So, as you can see, that gave my skin a very nice, healthy-looking glow. I really do like this primer. It's just not one that I can use if I want my makeup to last all day long. I'm going to put my Becca Undereye Corrector on. Look how much is gone. Like, seriously, I'm almost done with this one. It's crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and get this laid down underneath the eyes, and then we're going to get started with the foundation. So it is currently like 100 degrees outside. It might even be hotter than that right now. I don't know. But it's ridiculous. And when it's that hot, you will not find me outside. I will be inside where it's cool, relaxing, and staying cool. I know that a lot of you have dealt with similar weather conditions here lately. I know some of my friends up in Canada and some of my friends on the West Coast that aren't used to needing air conditioning. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they got air conditioning this year because it was so hot. Yeah, it gets hot like that every summer here, at least for a few days. We definitely could not go without AC. No freaking way. I'm just very grateful to have air conditioner. We have window units, which means right now the one in my room is turned off so you guys can hear me talk. So it's probably going to get a little toasty up in here. I can't help it. I love the under eye corrector. God, I hate that. I'm going to have to cover that up. We're gonna take the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and I'm going to spot conceal a few places. I feel like there's so much to tell you guys. I don't even know where to start. I'm at the very end of this cold sore, by the way, so there's no more like oozing and nastiness. It's just the residual redness and dryness, so it's all good. Don't come for me. Look at that. Perfection. This NARS Soft Matte Concealer is the real deal. Especially if you have a lot of redness and acne. Like, it does a great job covering all that crap. I'm not going to go too ham. I want to see what this foundation does. I'm excited. Now, I can tell you right off the top, this foundation's probably not going to match me very well. It looks rather yellow, but then when I hold it up to me, I'm like, is that going to be good? Is that a match? I don't know. We're going to find out. Longwear foundation, undetectable, medium buildable coverage. I usually like full coverage, but we're going to roll with it today. And I've heard some really mixed opinions on this foundation, so we'll see. Okay, I'm going to use a really dense brush to help kind of pack this foundation on and spread it around. So the shade of this foundation that I have is 10N. But yeah, let's just start chatting while I'm applying this. Like I said, I feel like so much has happened since the last time I had a chance to sit down and really chat with you guys. This is going to look crazy, I have a feeling. Oh no. Where do I even begin? Let's start with my car. So I bought a new car. which is a big deal for me. I don't know about you guys, but I don't exactly buy a car every day. I mean, this is something that's kind of big for me, so I wanted to share that with you all. I'll pop a picture up on the screen and show you both. I'll show you the car that I did have, and then I'll show you the car that I just bought. My 17-year-old is driving now, and I'm teaching him how to drive. So I wanted to make sure, you know, for this coming school year, he has a way to get back and forth to school because, you know, living with me, he's going to have a ride back and forth since he's not the same school district anymore. So I wanted to make sure he was able to go to the same school next year. And in order to do that, he's going to have his way back and forth to school because the bus doesn't pick him up here. And I was really, you know, I don't want him to have to switch schools. And I don't think he wants to switch schools this, you know, late in his high school career. So I figured the best way to kind of get around all that is, you know, we'll have him prepare and get his license. And then he can start driving my old car. And then, of course, like I said, I bought a new car for myself. That way, you know, I guess everybody's taken care of in that sense. So he's going to buy that car off of me. And I, you know, I'm now buying the new car. So it's exciting. I really wasn't planning on having another car payment. It's something I really didn't want to do at first. Like, you know, before I fully decided on it. Just because it's another bill, it's another expense. But since he is purchasing the older car off of me, that does help with that a little bit. And, you know, like I said, when this car is going to last him for a long time because my old car was not really that old. It's still in very good condition. And it'll last him a long time. So it's exciting. It's exciting for him, exciting for me. And, yeah, I've never owned like a brand new car before. Ever. The newest car I owned was the black one that I showed you. And it was a 2013, and I bought it in 2016, and it had like 35,000 miles on it, something like that. So it wasn't like too terribly old, but it definitely wasn't like brand new off the lot. So it's exciting to me that I was able to purchase a brand new car. Honestly, never thought that I would see the day that I was able to do that. So, you know, I haven't really divulged a whole lot to you guys about my past and stuff that I've been through in my life, but I've been through a lot, and I've been as low as it can possibly go. And I was at a point in my life where I didn't have much of anything, let alone a brand new car. So the fact that I was able to do that just makes me feel good. It makes me realize just how far I've come. So yeah, that's exciting. That was a huge, you know, that was a huge thing that happened this past month. I don't know how I'm feeling about this foundation so far. It's awful light coverage in my opinion. It said medium. I guess it's kind of medium. I don't know. It's kind of looks like it's light coverage to me. But that's because I got a lot going on. It said it was buildable, so we're going to try. We're going to try to build it up. As far as the shade match is concerned, it doesn't really look too bad. I don't think it does. It's just showing a lot of my imperfections and a lot of the, like, discoloration, the redness, the blemishes. It's kind of showing all of that, and that's not typically what I go for when I'm using foundation. I kind of want to cover all that up, but it doesn't look bad on the skin. It's actually sitting very nicely on the skin for now. So yeah, when I bought my car, my new car, it had 4 miles on it when I drove it off the lot. It was so exciting, and it's crazy because my new one is red, and red is just not a color that I ever thought that I would. I never thought that I would have a red car because I'm not really the biggest fan of red cars. I just was never really that drawn to them. I went to several different dealerships, and I told the first guy at the first dealership, specifically, I did not want a red car because it just wasn't my first choice. You know, I would prefer like black or, you know, white even, just not red. It just wasn't a color that I was interested in. And then the experience I had at that dealership was, I don't want to say it was negative, but I felt like I was being pushed in a direction that I didn't want to go in. Something was just telling me to wait. Just don't do it, just wait. And, you know, I had done my research before going into the dealership. I really looked into prices, APRs. I'd already gotten pre-approved, so I knew what I could get and about what my APR would be. And I had shopped around. I looked at different, you know, different dealerships online before I went to the first dealership. And yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sold on it. I just felt like I needed to wait it out. and I ended up putting down a deposit because I knew I ended up buying a 2021 Corolla, but at this dealership, a new 2021 Corolla was coming in. He was trying to sell me a 2020 Corolla that was going to cost about the same price as the 2021, and I was like, wouldn't it make more sense for me to wait, considering I can get a brand new one for about the same price? And at first we kind of went back and forth, and then he conceded and was like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. That would be better if you waited. I'm like, you think? So I did put a deposit down, but then after I left, my mom had told me about another dealership because my family associates with another dealership in another state. And I was like, you know what? Let's just look. Let's look. It's not exactly buildable. I wouldn't really call this a very buildable foundation. It's not doing a whole lot for me. I'm trying. See if I can cover up some more of this redness here. But yeah, I looked at a bunch of different vehicles. I had test drove a Hyundai Tucson. I tried out the Toyota Camry, a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. But I just, man, when I saw that red car, the one that I purchased, and I drove it, I knew that that was my car. And I think that it's important when you're buying something as expensive as a vehicle that you feel really good about what you're doing and that it feels right. Like, it feels like, yeah, that's my car. And that's how I felt. So I knew that that was the car I was going to buy after I drove it. And I just thought it was so funny since I was so against buying a red car. But I love it. I've named her Scarlet. And that's my boo thing. That's my baby. Yeah, that's about all the coverage I'm going to get from this. And you can definitely see a bunch of discoloration still. It's not my favorite. I would agree. It's a medium coverage. I just prefer full since I've got a lot going on. And I don't think the shade match is that bad for me. And I'm surprised. So anyway, right now I'm working on getting my son licensed, you know, taking him, practicing every now and then, you know, when I'm not working and when he's not working on school or when he's not working. That's another change. He got a job. It's just crazy. Like, my kids are getting older. I'm getting older. It's all hard for me to wrap my brain around. Okay. Let's move on to the concealer. I think I might do like a combination of the two. I know how the Kosas works. I've used it before, but I have not tried the Dose of Colors. So, oh, she thick. Holy Moses. This reminds me of like Shape Tape. Oh boy. Okay. This Dose of Colors concealer feels a little bit drying. So I'm going to use the two in conjunction because the Revealer concealer is a little bit more creamy. Let's do that. Yeah, this stuff is thick. Oh boy, this is going to look crazy because this concealer is a lot more full coverage than this foundation is. Shit. Oh well, we'll have to make it work here. I'm the queen of making it work. Okay, I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but I'm a little worried that once it dries down, it's going to look really dry. We're going to find out. I'm going to leave it alone for now. And we're going to move on to the cream bronzer from, is it Saie? Maybe I should have looked that up. I don't feel like it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and apply this to the perimeter of my face. It looks a little orange, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to take my Chikuhodo GSN 5 brush. This is one that I really like to use for cream contour or bronzer or cream blush, anything like that, because it's got a really dense, small head on it, and it really hugs that pocket, or socket I should say, where your cheekbone is. It just does a great job. So I'm going to use this to dip in gently. Oh, it looks like a lot comes off. Okay, and I'm going to tap some of that back off on the back of my hand. Let's just see what happens here. I'm not using like an actual contour today. I'm just using this bronzer. But like I said, I got a feeling it's going to be a little too warm for me. Actually, I don't really need to tap it back off because it doesn't pick up a whole ton. It's very subtle. The more I tap on, the more orange it gets. So it's just not that pigmented. It doesn't look bad. It's just it's kind of odd. It's like the more you tap on and the more you blend, it just kind of blends away. See, I'm going to end up going over top of this with that Charlotte Tilbury powder. I have to set after I put on cream products or it's not going to last 5 minutes. I get oily extremely quick. I don't know why I felt the need to buy this when I literally just bought the NARS one. I've bought a lot of cream bronzers here lately. I didn't need this one too. I'm going to just stop. I'm going to stop right there while I'm ahead. You know, this is for a very specific type of person. Okay? It sounds kind of weird. This is for you if you like glowy products, if you like that dewy, like you barely have anything on, that effortless type of look. That's not the look I go for because I need something full coverage. I need something that's going to set down. I need something that's going to wear longer than 5 minutes. So I don't know why I grabbed this. I should have known it was going to be that type of product. I don't really care for the tone. It's very orangey on me. Those are my thoughts so far. I mean, we'll see how it wears throughout the video. Maybe I will love it by the time this video is done. I don't know. All right, let's set the face with the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. And we'll continue this little conversation we were having. Sometimes I forget that we're having a conversation. I just talk about the makeup. It's hard for me to do makeup and talk at the same time. Form complete thoughts. So what else has gone on this past month? Well, I know I've told you guys this before, but I work in a grocery store. And this past month, I was transferred. I was transferred to a much bigger location. The store that I was working at before was like a miniature version of the stores that we have in our company. And the store that I just got transferred to is a full-fledged like operation. It's big and it's very busy and it's one of the busiest in our region. So finding out that I was being transferred to this store when I'm used to operating a store that does about a third of that business, it worried me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous. But just because, you know, I hadn't worked in a store like that before and, you know, under the role that I'm in right now, which is a salaried manager, I hadn't done that yet. So I was just nervous how that would pan out. I was nervous that I would be able to handle it. But after being in that new store for the past 2 weeks, I'm excited. I'm excited to be in a bigger location. I'm excited that I'm being challenged again. I guess I had forgotten what it felt like to work in a bigger location because that's all I knew before I went into salary management was these bigger locations. And then I went into salary management and then I got transferred to a small store. So it's kind of nice going back to the bigger store just because I forgot what it was like, and I like being busy. I like being challenged. I like the chaos, which sounds crazy, but it's true. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you busy. It keeps you on top of things. And I think I had become complacent in my other store, and I just didn't realize it. But I'm just really glad that I got transferred when I did, because I needed to be challenged, and that's just the kind of person that I am when it comes to my job or anything really. Like, I love a challenge and I like proving to myself that I can do something. So I'm really excited to be in the bigger store and working with a whole nother team of people. They're all really amazing. And so far it's been nothing but positive. And I just hope that it stays that way. I'm really excited to see not only what I can do for the store, but what the store can do for me as well on a, you know, professional level. So I'm excited. I was sad at first because, you know, I'm leaving behind an entire team of people that I've spent the past 2 years with, getting to know and working alongside, and, you know, with COVID and everything, it was rough, and we really had to come together as a team and get through it. And, you know, those are the people that I did that with, and it was, you know, finding out that you're getting transferred, it's a mix of emotions. You feel excited, you feel sad, you feel overwhelmed, nervous, you know, there's scared, there's a bunch of emotions that you deal with. So that's kind of how I felt at first, but now I'm just excited. I'm excited, And I just want to, you know, see what the future has in store, what it brings. I think this Charlotte Tilbury powder can make just about any foundation look like gold. So yeah, the last couple weeks I've just been spending trying to get caught up because this bigger store has a lot of amenities, a lot of, how do I want to put it? A lot of services and stuff that the littler store did not have. So I'm playing catch up right now and I'm trying to learn all these things and it's exciting and exhilarating and overwhelming and, but it's all good stuff and it needed to happen. So trying to enjoy it, try not to stress myself out. I'm a perfectionist. I like to feel like I'm on top of things, like I know what I'm doing. I like to feel like I'm doing my best at whatever I'm doing. So I stress myself out. I'm trying not to get to that point. Okay, I do have one more bronzer that I'm going to dust over top. I really hope this doesn't turn out too orangey. This is the Jouer Duo that I pulled in the shade light to medium, and I'm going to be using the shade Suntan, which is the deeper of the two. Let's just see what happens here. So I know that I've had quite a few of you ask about my health, how things are going, how I've been feeling and whatnot. So I wanted to also update you guys on that. I have been doing much better than I was before. I kind of took things into my own hands, and I think I told you guys that in a prior video. Is this turning me more orange? I think it is. Shit. So back, let's see, the last time I spoke with you guys about it, I told you that I had stopped taking my acid reducers. I was on several different ones. I was on Prilosec, and I was on like a daily dose of like, what was it? Pepsid or something. So I stopped taking the Prilosec, and then I was only taking the Pepsid every time I had heartburn, right? Like, I wasn't taking it to be preventative. I was only taking it if there was a reaction, if I really needed to. And what I came to realize, and what I truly believe, like I'm convinced of this now after having dealt with this for months, I did not have enough stomach acid to digest the food that I was eating. I did not have enough stomach acid to break down the food enough to allow my body to absorb it, to give me the nutrients I needed, to make me feel good, to make me feel energized. I feel like taking all those meds really, really fucked me up, if I'm just being honest with you. And stopping that medication was the best thing that I could have done, because when I tell you I was miserable and I was hating my life and I day to day was just so stressed out, and I just can't tell you how horrible I felt. Sometimes I felt like I was having a heart attack. Sometimes I felt like my heart rate would go all crazy and beat all fast, and I would have palpitations and just feeling exhausted all the time, to the point where I couldn't even barely get out of bed. I really do believe all of that was caused from my stomach acid being too low, not being able to digest the foods that I was eating. My digestive system was all jacked up. And what really upsets me about the whole thing is that I told my doctors, several doctors, about the symptoms I was having with the indigestion, not being able to digest my foods. This stuff happened after I got put on the meds. And I told my doctors about it. And not a one suggested, maybe we ought to, like, cut back on the meds. Like, maybe the meds are what's making this worse. Not a one. I had to figure that out on my own. And it pisses me off, because now I owe thousands and thousands of dollars due to testing, when in all reality, I just needed to quit taking the damn meds. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, because anything can happen, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not like 100% certain, but I'm telling you right now, in the past 2 years, actually, has it been almost 3? It's been almost 3 years since I've been dealing with this bullshit. In the past 3 years, this is the best I have felt, and I haven't been taking those meds. The only time I really need to take the Pepsid is when I drink too much coffee, because coffee really sets it off for me, like badly. And, of course, I'm too much of a dumbass to quit drinking it, because I love my coffee. I mean, I have totally altered my diet as well. I don't drink any more sodas. I'm only drinking about 1 cup of coffee a day. I'm just not eating as poorly as I was, and, you know, altering that diet as far as not having all that soda and whatnot, I feel like that has definitely helped. But I truly believe all of this started because I didn't have enough stomach acid, and then when I got pumped full of more medication that blocked stomach acid, it made things scary worse. Like, I don't know how bad things could have gotten had I kept taking them, but I am inclined to believe that it would have made me extremely ill. I already was extremely ill. I feel like I probably would have ended up in the hospital because I was run ragged and my body was not absorbing all the nutrients that it needed. Nowhere close. It was struggling to survive. So I'm just very grateful that I trusted my intuition, I trusted my gut, and I quit taking the damn meds. So I know I've talked about that before in a prior video. If you're somebody that is struggling with stomach issues and you're being pumped full of meds and it's not helping, talk to your doctor about either lessening your meds or trying you on something else. Really try to watch your diet. Like, I just can't stress enough how grateful I am that I trusted my gut and I quit taking those meds. That's not going to be for everybody. Some people really need them. And you know, I need them on occasion too, but not what they were giving me. They had me on extremely high doses for me. And I didn't need it. I did not need all that. And it made me really sick. So I've been feeling a lot better. My stress is a little crazy right now just because of, you know, the relocation to another store and some other things going on at home. I don't want to get too in detail just because, you know, I don't want to talk about all of my private business and my kids' private business and all that stuff. I don't think that's right. But typical life stuff, you know? It's just, there's just a lot going on right now. I always go overboard, and y'all don't tell me. You just let me keep on and keep on, and then I'm looking like a full-fledged clown. Thanks, guys. Now we're going to move it along. Let's do the eyeshadow palette, and then we'll decide what color blush we want to use. Alright, I'm going to prime my lids really quickly. I'm debating between P. Louise and Anastasia Beverly Hills. They're like the same thing. They really are. Let's do ABH. Oh, so what I did is I popped out the shade, let's see, the shade 0, which is the one in my hand, and I put Moontide from Terra Moons down here since I'm going to be playing with those. And then I also popped out the shade Apparition, which is the shade right here, and I popped in Lucid Lavender from Touch of Glam Beauty, just to kind of see what it would look like in the palette, and I think it's so pretty. But I'm going to put those back in just because they belong in that palette. Such a beautiful palette. Beautbean really did a wonderful job with the color selection and the textures. I think she did a really good job. I'm so drawn to the shade Trappa. Like, look how beautiful this green is. This, like, chartreusey green. It's just stunning. Or, like, almost like a sour apple. Like a green apple type of green. I love it. I'm so drawn to that shade. The shade Spooky. This really gorgeous, like, periwinkle shade. Love it. I don't know what to do. Like, I want to do a mixture of all of it, honestly. How am I going to do that without it looking cray-cray? Let's just start taking the shade Trappa. That beautiful shade. And blending it into the crease, and we'll just go from there. We'll see what happens. Whoa, there's a lot of kick up. Holy Moses. Maybe I should scoot closer so y'all can actually see what the hell I'm doing. How about that? I mean, I can't get over the amount of fallout. There's a lot of kick up in this pan. Oh my. I love that shade though. That is so freaking pretty. Did any of you guys pick up this palette as well? I'm curious. This was a tough one to get a hold of at first. A lot of people were not happy with the way the launch went down and the pre-order and all that jazz. I had canceled mine just because I knew it was going to take forever for it to come in, and I was like, you know what? I'll just get it when it restocks, so I canceled it. It took all of 2 weeks after I ordered it, maybe 3, to get it, which is incredible. I love it. It looks patchy on camera. It does not look patchy in person. I think I need to use a smaller brush because that one's a little large for these lids. So what else? What else has happened this month? Well, my son is actually experiencing a lot of stomach issues. My soon-to-be 15-year-old. And he was supposed to have some testing done, and it's long story, but he didn't get the testing done. So, not because of me. Okay, he chose not to. And it's just crazy because I know how much it affects your life when you're having stomach issues like that. So I feel really awful for him and just want him to feel better. You know, it's rough. But it's one of those things too that you kind of have to be willing to do what you need to do to make yourself feel better. Changing your diet, getting some testing done, all those things. But I've felt really bad for him because I know what it's like and it sucks. I love that green, I really do. I'm just kind of building up some of that color on this outer edge here, and then we'll go from there. I think what I want to do, and this might be a mistake, I don't know yet, but I think I'm going to deepen up what I have down already with the shade Adams, which is this really deep, kind of like Gumby green. And then I want to go over top of that on the outer corner with Dairy. Alright, let's see what happens here. Oh boy. Oh, I love these colors. They're so pretty. And I'm not trying to jinx it or anything, but I've got 0 fallout, which is nuts considering how much kick up is in the pan. Okay, where to go from here? Now that I have the green laid down, should I risk it with the purple? I feel like I should. I'm going to start packing Dairy on this outer corner. You know what? Let me put down a little bit more of Adams. We're going to put some special shades down too. Okay, let's take Dairy. I'm going to start kind of stamping it down here. Holy Moses. That's a deep shade. Alright. I'm trying to keep it really like on this outer edge and deep into the socket because I don't want to overpower that blue and the greens. I love that though. That purple just really added a layer of depth to this look that I'm here for. And I really don't think I want to jack it up with that shade there. I don't think that's going to look right. I think that's going to really take things in a direction that I'm not going to be happy with. These shadows really just played so nicely together. They layered beautifully, blended beautifully. I'm so shocked. Like, I love this. I'm half tempted to leave it like this. I don't want to use any of the colors in this palette for the beginning portion of my lid because I feel like it's not going to give me the impact that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a little bit of glitter glue or like mixing medium, and I'm going to take the shade Space Baby. This is from Terra Moons, and it's that really beautiful shifty, it shifts purple and green. And I'm going to stamp that right here. I'm going to take some of the NYX glitter primer on a concealer brush. Ooh, that's where it's at, y'all. Ooh, it's pretty. Oh, I love it. I love that so very much. That is so pretty. That's why I love those special shades because they really just, they just amp up an eye look, don't they? I love this eye look so much. I'm so glad that I took the time to sit down today and play with a little bit of makeup. I really needed this makeup therapy. Okay, what I'm going to do now is hop off camera. I'm going to do the lower lash line work. The only thing that I'm going to do, well, maybe a couple things. I'm going to stamp Dairy on the lower lash line. It's almost like a black. It's so deep It's such a deep purple, it's almost black. But I'm going to stamp that on the lower lash line, and then I'm going to blow it out with the greens. I'm going to do some mascara. I'm going to get the brows going on because I've got no eyebrows on. When I come back, we'll take care of the blush and the lips, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Obviously, I finished the eyes. I just smoked out some of the same colors up top, underneath. I used... What the hell did I use? Let me get all this together real quick. I used the Tarte Man Eater Mascara as well as the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes for my eyelashes. For the lower waterline, I used that Wander Beauty Skyliner in the shade Napa Nights, and it's just a really dark plummy purple. For the lips, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Lip Liner in the shade Pillow Talk 2 Medium to go around the outside, and then to fill in, I used the Fenty Beauty Cream Gloss or Cream... Yeah, Gloss Bomb Cream in the shade Fenty Glow. What else did I do? Oh, the brows, obviously. For the brows, I use the same products that I always use. The Gimme Brow from Benefit, the Huda Beauty Balm Brows, and my Urban Decay Brow Blade. Let's see, I pulled the Rouge Romance Blush Palette from Jaclyn Cosmetics, which is right here. I need to be a little bit careful. As you can tell, I'm starting to get really dewy because... As much as I love that Charlotte Tilbury powder, the finishing powder, it doesn't do a whole lot for actually setting my face. It just really smooths things out, so I get pretty oily very quick, and of course that foundation just was not exactly oily skin friendly, let's put it that way. So, what blush do I want to use? I don't want to use this one. I feel like this might look really good. Let's tap some of this on the outer cheekbones very lightly, and we'll go from there. So from me sitting with my legs hanging the whole time, I have cankles now, and it's very uncomfortable. My legs are extremely swollen. I don't think I've used this shade yet. It's very dark, so I'm going to try not to get too out of control with it. Not making any promises. Y'all know how I do. Ooh, there it is. That's pretty. It's called Living Lavish. And it's beautiful. I just realized I didn't do an inner corner highlight for my eyes. What am I thinking? I like that. See, this is what happens. I start liking it a little too much, and then I end up with clown cheeks. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Do I even want to use a highlight? Like, I think this looks so pretty. I might just leave it alone. What do y'all think? Should we just leave it be? Feeling sultry. Look at all them gray hairs, would you? Pretend we didn't see that. So that's going to wrap up this video. Playing with some makeup. A lot of newer stuff, honestly, but there was also some stuff in there that I hadn't tried in a while. Let's do a very quick recap. That way I can go over my thoughts on those newer things. Okay, so first and foremost, the Vitamin Glow Primer from Smashbox. If you're somebody that has very dry skin, this might be a good primer for you because it's very moisturizing, it's very glowy. For somebody like me that has extremely oily skin, like, this is about as long as I'm going to be able to wear this makeup look, and as soon as I get done with this video, it's coming right off. Just because the base is already feeling really tacky, I'm feeling greasy. I've been filming probably for like 3 hours, maybe a little longer. About 3.5 hours, because I take my time and I just really enjoy playing. But anyway, it doesn't wear very long on my skin, so I really do enjoy it if it's going to be something short term. It's not long wearing on my skin type because I'm oily, so I do really like it. The Sephora foundation that I used today, it's not my favorite. It's just not full enough coverage for me. I like something that's got really great coverage. This just sat a little funny on my skin. It didn't look that great until I put the Charlotte Tilbury powder over top. So I wouldn't say that it's horrible. It's not like the worst foundation I've ever tried, but it's definitely not something that I would go out and purchase. And it's not really something that I feel like I would be able to recommend to you either. It's just, it's kind of meh, you know? The Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer. This is so damn drying. Like, I put it underneath my eyes, but I used it in conjunction with the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This stuff's super creamy. It's just not as full coverage as I typically like, which is why I added in the Dose of Colors. but this is just way too drying for my taste. This is something that I could use as like an eyeshadow base or something like that. I don't think I would put this back underneath the eyes because it's just not my favorite type of formula. It's way too drying. And again, the Kosas Revealer Concealer just doesn't have enough coverage. So using the two together wasn't awful. Let me take another look. I mean, I've definitely seen it look worse under them eyes. So using these together was actually pretty decent, but both of them on their own, they're just both lacking something. I think you guys know how I felt about that Saie Sun Melt Bronzing Cream. It's just a little bit too warm for me, a little bit too much on that orangey side. However, when I layered it and put bronzer over top, I mean, obviously it's going to change the way it looks. Not 100% terrible, but also definitely not my favorite, and I'm considering returning this. It's expensive to not love. So as far as the eyes, the It's Freakin Bats palette from Shroud Cosmetics, I'm really surprised at how great the quality was on this, and maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but you just kind of never know, like when you're trying different brands, different indie brands, you never really know if you're going to like their formulas or not. And I really, really enjoyed their matte formula. They blended beautifully. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw I had zero problem with getting them to blend. Layering was totally fine. The only thing that I didn't use was the shimmers in here, and I'll use those in the future, but I love the mattes. They're beautiful. I love the color story. It's unique to my collection, and I'm so glad that I have it. So excited for Betty Jean on this collab. So I know she's not going to see this, but if for some chance she does, congratulations. This is amazing. This is a great palette. Was that it of the new stuff? I think that was all of the new stuff. Oh, the Lip Cheat and the Wander Beauty pencil. The Wander Beauty eyeliner. What's this called again? The Skyliner in Napa Nights. It was a little hard to get the pigment payoff like I wanted. It's a little muted. See if I can show you. It doesn't look muted here, but when you put it on the waterline, it's not as intense. So I really had to go over it a bunch of times, but I think it looks nice. I think it really complements this eye look. So it's okay. I don't know how it wears because I've only been wearing it for like 10-15 minutes. So I don't know, you know, as far as longevity is concerned, I'm not sure, but for right now, I think it looks nice. And then for the lips, the Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream. This was actually a new product to me. I hadn't tried it yet. I think it's really comfortable. It feels nice on the lips. It's got decent pigment to it. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat and Pillow Talk 2. I like the combo. I think it looks really nice, and I like it with the eye look. So that is going to wrap up this video. I kind of started talking to you guys in the beginning just about things going on in my life and where I'd been and just kind of updating you guys on some stuff. And then as the video went on, I forgot to talk about things, and I just kept talking about the makeup. And that's how it happens a lot of times when I'm filming, because it's hard to talk about things and do your makeup at the same time. At least it is for me. So I apologize if it got a little boring there towards the end, but I was really digging the application of the eyeshadow palette, and I kind of got involved in that, and then that was all I thought about. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Not only does that let me know that you like this kind of content from me, but it lets YouTube know, which means that YouTube is going to push this content out there for more people to see, which means more people might make their way over to my channel and to this community, and I'm so grateful when you guys take the time to do that. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoyed this, or if you've been enjoying other content of mine. Tap that notification bell if you do so you don't miss future uploads, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.